Agency in Motion Continuing Education Series. Once again, this is a series that's designed specifically for agents, producers, advisors, financial coaches, and agency builders in the financial services industry. And today, we're really talking about what's called the Q1 Power Play. And this is about shaping your year of success, getting off to a fast start, creating that velocity, that springboard, that momentum that can carry over into the subsequent months and create a nice year for us. What you also have to understand is that we are defining this as a Q1 power play, but you can at any time in your business, and I recommend that you do this quite often, is anytime you can create, a period of time where you go at this full force and try to create that momentum, that velocity that will carry over and create the success that you're looking for. The very first thing that we want to do is the very first thing that we're doing with prospects, partners, and clients anyway. You just need to have this conversation with yourself, and that is, what are you trying to accomplish for this year? What is it that you're trying to accomplish? What are your biggest business goals, priorities for 2024? And then secondarily, after you identify what you're trying to accomplish, do you actually have a detailed plan on how to get there? Remember, you need to be talking to yourself exactly like you talk to your prospects, your clients, and your partners, which is, hey, what are you trying to accomplish? How are we going to get there? What are we willing to do to make sure we get there? What's the detailed plan? So what is the vision? What are the goals? And then what's the plan of action to get there? Because this is where all of your unrecognized revenue, income, business growth on the client and partner side comes from. It's the gap between the strategy of what you're trying to accomplish and the actual execution of what you're accomplishing. So when we, kind of take that gap and we bridge that gap between strategy and execution, there's a lot of growth, revenue, income, business growth, partner growth, client growth. So we have to understand, once we identify what we're trying to accomplish, and then we have a plan of action on how to get there, the rest of it's just the execution. And the better you get at execution, the better your personal business is going to be, and the better opportunity you have to build distribution on a national level, because you can teach other people how to do the same, how to fill that gap, and how to make that money. This creates momentum. And we've always talked about like this. If you look at the compounding of money and how we teach our clients on how that works, you create momentum in your business, or you create a lack of momentum. Momentum in your business is going to have great positive ripple effects. A lack of momentum is going to feel like the walls are closing in, and that leads to drifting, uncertainty, and obviously, ultimately, quitting. So just like money, the marketing that you do, the conversations that you have, the recruiting and sales that you manufacture, your agency activity is going to compound on top of each other. So get out there and concentrate in Q1 for the power play on what you control, which is stuff like your energy, your attitude, your activity. Let that stuff start to compound and create momentum for you. One of the ways that we create momentum inside our agencies is by helping people understand the value of the time they have now, how to be great in that time, how to create a vision that motivates you, and how to create an action plan that concentrates on the most important stuff with measurement and reflection. We use the 12-week year because it works, but anything that you can do to compress time frames and understand the importance of what you have right now in terms of the time that you have and what you can do with that time will greatly help your business. The more you drift, the more you don't implement these time management systems, the easier it's going to be for you to eventually one day drift and quit. Or if you stay in, the other people that are willing to adopt these type of things will just blast past you. Once you've got a vision, once you've got a plan of action, once you've got some execution in, you need to understand, as far as the Q1 power play and shaping the year's success, you've got to have a message to your people. If you've got a persona and I say, hey, what's your message to that persona? And you hesitate, you really have no idea, you need to concentrate on really what is your message to the people. And your message to the people cannot be about insurance products, retirement products, financial products. That is like a repellent. If you start talking about products, features, benefits of those products, people are just going to steer clear of you. Your message to the people has to be about the possibilities, has to be about an end destination, has to be about some type of a motivating, inspirational endpoint that they're excited about. So the conversion process, the transformation process, getting them from point A to point B. What is your message to the people? An example of that is debt to wealth. So understand what your persona wants, understand what your persona wants to avoid, and then craft a message around that persona that helps them identify, hey, this is the person that can help actually get me to where I want to go. If your message to the marketplace falls on deaf ears, don't worry about it. Just go back and craft a new message. Your message has to be a motivating, inspirational message that propels people to do what you want them to do, which is take that next action step. Once you've got a message and once you feel confident in that message and that message's ability to go out in the marketplace into the persona and have them resonate with that message, raise their hand, say, yeah, I want more information about this. I want to meet with you. I want to talk to you. Once you've got your message, you need to go out and you need to be seen and you need to be heard with that message. If you got a great message, you got a great business model, you got a bunch of products and services that can help somebody get to an end destination. If you just sit quietly like a secret agent, your business is never going to go anywhere. You're never going to make money. And you're always going to be looking for that initial traction. Be seen, be heard, have a message that resonates with your persona. And that means starting the conversation. If you want to create momentum in your business, you want to create a Q1 power play that shapes the year's success, you have to learn how to open your mouth. And once again, this is not pitching, selling, or recruiting, all the stuff that we don't want to do. This is starting conversations with your message, helping people identify and understand they can have what they want with the right plan of action, with the right execution, with the right people to help them on their side. You have to, once again, show interest in other people to build interest in what you're doing. Then at the appropriate time in the communication and conversation, interject yourself with that action step. Open your mouth, learn to talk to people about helping them get what they want. And if you help enough people get what they want on the client or the partner side, you're going to get everything you want from this business. You need to think like a business owner. If you're going to create a power play in Q1, you've got to constantly think about how to make my business better, how to make my message better, how do I make my marketing better, how do I make my education better, whatever roles you're currently servicing in your business, how do you get better? How do you create a better business for yourself, your partners, and your clients? You are a business owner. The more you think like a business owner, easier it's going to be to create a successful business. The more you think like an employee, the harder it's going to be to create that successful business. You need to invest in your future, in the future of your business right now, because the longer you delay putting the time, energy, resources into your business, the longer you're going to delay getting back out of your business what you're looking for. If you have no input into your business, you have no output. It's easy to understand. If nothing's coming in, no lead generation, no marketing, no messages, no education, no guides, whatever it is that you're doing as the next action step, if none of that's happening on the front of the business, nothing's happening on the back of the business. You have to make sure that you do not go through another quarter, another year, another month, however, whatever time frame you're looking at, and just letting that time just develop like a rabbit hole. Because if you have clear intentions, if you understand what you're doing, if you come dialed in, day out, you will learn to run the clock. Otherwise, the clock runs you. And if the clock runs you, trust me, it's going to run you into the ground because you're going to feel overwhelmed. There's nothing coming in. You don't have, control over your day. So understand the way that you control your day is with activity, action. Action changes things. And when you, once again, concentrate on what you control, which is your energy, your attitude, and your activity, those are the things that are going to create that Q1 power play. Create the momentum in your business that you're looking for that's going to carry over into the additional weeks and months leading into the end of this year. You've got to make the moves. Remember, action is the foundational key to all success. If you're not having any action, there's going to be zero success. You've got to make the moves. In the beginning, those moves are going to be rough. They're going to be tough. They're not going to be very polished. But by making those, you're going to get better. You're going to get more clear, more concise. You're going to get better at what you do. And then, by going through that upfront period, now you have a more polished end result. And now you can start to teach other people that exact thing, which builds distribution. With your activity, when you're making moves, like I said, understand it's not going to be great in the beginning, but the sheer point of having the activity will help you. Once you get into the framework and the mindset of continuous activity, then all you have to do is make sure that action, make sure that activity comes with intention. Not just doing things, but why am I doing things and what exactly am I expecting from that activity? And that's where the targets and objectives come in. If you are having activity and you're not really understanding what that activity is supposed to return to you, it's going to be hard to measure and reflect on that. But if you have targets, you have objectives, those are like stepping stones to get to your bigger goals. So the activity with intention, and then the targets or objectives, measurement and reflection. That's how you build, your self-confidence. That's how you build a personal production business. And that's how you build a distribution business in really any industry that you want. And then once you have these things in place, just be focused. Stick to the plan, stay focused, change little things at a time. Don't just throw everything against the wall. If something's not working, identifying the complete chain of activity. What is the holdup? Don't change everything. Change one thing at a time and see what the results of those are. And also, the Q1 power play is all about consistency. Once you have these things in place, the biggest obstacle or roadblock that I see in people building their business, this is it, guys, the consistency. If you're on a road trip and you're going 80 miles an hour, and then you go 8 miles an hour, and then you go 90 and you go 12, that's a big fluctuation in speed. What I recommend that you do is bring to the table whatever you're going to bring, and bring that on a consistent basis. If it's part-time, it's full-time, whatever it might be. A little time and consistency can build that great foundation with something with meaning. And then once again, it's a lot easier to help people fix themselves after you've already fixed yourself. This business on the front side is really not that exciting. Think about if you were a professional baseball player, professional football player. You got to go to practice. You got to get those reps in. That's not exciting, but it helps you for game day. Same thing here. Your business is really not that exciting, because on the front part of your business, you have the daily activity, you have the ferocity of your follow-up, you have the approach that you have. You really want to understand that if you're going to make your business work, contact business is your number one priority. Once again, what is your message? What's your persona? Where is that persona? How many of those are you getting in front of each and every day with that message that's going to resonate and have them, once again, raise their hand? Yes, I want to talk to you. I want information about this. I would like that educational meeting. You have to get in front of the right people with the right message to create the right business activity. And then once you do that, it's just math, guys. It's easier to scale your business and scale what you're trying to do on the backside when you understand what it produces. Once you understand what you're doing, what that produces, it's very easy. It's all math. You multiply your efforts to multiply those results. That's why we're so emphatic on having a data-driven business, making data-driven decisions about your business, because once you start to achieve, it's easier to scale. And then get organized. If you want to have a successful launching board for the year in Q1 as a power play, you got to get organized. And once again, not being organized is really not an excuse anymore because of the aid of technology. You can be busy or you can be effective. And this is one of the big things that you guys need to understand. Just sitting around doing a bunch of work that's not creating the results that you're looking for, that's busy work. Being effective means that you're going out and you're doing the things on a day-to-day basis that you need to do to build your business. You can sit around, you can work on stuff, and you can do this or do that over a long period of time and actually have zero revenue or income coming in. That's busy. You need to learn how to go from the busy realm to the effective realm, because once again, time is an investment. It's your biggest and best asset. If it's getting no return, why is it getting no return? You have to fix that. And then you have to understand, once again, what's my persona? What am I trying to sell my persona? How do I position my product to sell to my ideal customer? We talked about that. It's with the message. It's the wow, not the how, the endpoint, the advantage of, accomplishing this, the advantage of not going down this road they want to avoid. So these are the things that you have to learn to talk about, not product services of the how, but the wow of actually getting it done. And then once you understand who your persona is, who your message is, we just talked about you're in the contact business, lots and lots of communication about possibilities, motivational, inspirational communication to your persona. Hey, I can help you. I help other people like you do A, B, C, D, whatever it might be. And then Q1 power play means that you understand, you get out of the habit of being that salesperson, that pitching, recruiting, selling. You need to drop that. And once again, if you're in the contact business, if you have a message, if you have a persona, just go out and stop selling and start interviewing that persona. When you understand, once again, what somebody wants and you can show them a clear path to get there, it's a lot easier to introduce the products and services inside that framework of getting them what they want. You have to create excitement. Part of the momentum, part of the Q1 power play shaping your year of success is you got to be excited about the possibilities for other people. Yes, that's going to create possibilities for yourself, your inner circle, your family, but what is your business actually doing? If it's creating, financial freedom, lifestyle freedom, time freedom, get excited about your business because people are going to buy into you first. If you're not excited, if you're lackadaisical about what you can or cannot do, about what your business is doing for partners or clients, nobody's really going to get excited about seeing more information. They're going to buy into you first. So create excitement. You don't have to be excited about the same thing all the time about your business, but you do have to be excited all the time about your business because that's going to allow you to really go out there. And we've gone through this before. We've had trainings just on this pyramid. This is how you increase your pipeline. That rapport, that trust, that credibility can come from a number of different things, online, in person, whatever it is. Once that's established, once again, through the interview process, you're allowing other people to give you information that uncovers a problem that you have a solution for, then now you can interject the action step. If you miss periods or miss steps in this pyramid, and you go from trust, credibility, rapport to the action step, they're not going to understand why to take it. So understand this pyramid, work inside this pyramid and understand that when you reverse engineer and dissect it all backwards, all the components of this pyramid equal mastery. So part of Q1 power play shaping your success is increasing the flow of your pipeline by understanding how exactly to do that. You're going to get resistance at all levels of your business. People, especially, they fear money. They have a fixed mindset. Their knee-jerk reaction is always say no. So you want to, A, always anticipate resistance. And then B, you want to change your goal mindset or your mentality to get the prospect talking. Remember, interviewing, not selling, getting them talk about their goals or their problems. And then C is sell that appointment. Not your product. Sell that educational meeting, sell that demo, whatever it is that you're trying to do, sell that as part of the process that's going to help create not a sale, but a buying decision by your prospect who is now going to be a client. Remember, you're going to take those swings, those hacks every single day, just like athletes, musicians, surgeons, all professionals, sales reps get better when they practice. So you're going to get people out there with those typical rejections, rebuttals, objections. So what you need to understand is if you're dialed into a persona and you have a pretty good understanding about who that persona is, you can start to, like we talked about before, preemptively start to overcome some of these objections or rebuttals before they even come up in the conversation. That's one of the key things to having a persona and having that message. Your revenue and income is going to come from your ability to go out there and take your swings, take your hacks every day and get better and better at what you do, which is creating the persona, getting the message, and then leading that persona to the next action steps. The easiest way to look at your business is, hey, if this was a factory, which I look at my business as a virtual or online factory, what exactly is happening? Bringing in raw material, which is my persona. I've got different stages of production, which is guides, education meetings, reports, whatever that is. And I've got end products. I got clients, partners, I've got nothing. But the key ingredient of the factory pattern that you need to bring is the grit. Keep your factory open, keep it moving, and get better and better and better at developing the floor plan of your factory. Always think expansion. If you're not thinking about expansion, You're thinking about contracting subconsciously. If you're not thinking about growing, you're thinking about dying. So think about expansion. Once again, how do I make my business bigger? How do I make it better? How do I create a better experience for my clients, my partners, etc.? Because the better you get at doing that, the more you think about expansion, the more that growth mindset's going to kick in, and that's going to have a spillover effect for your business. You need to understand from 2 points of view: the what, the how, and the why. You need to learn as an agent. And then if you're going to create agencies, distribution around this country, once you learn it as an agent, then you learn it as a manager. So you learn yourself, and then you learn how to teach. You're just showing people the way. You're making action plans, and then you get to a point where you're going to basically demand they take action. If they're not willing to take action, that's a disqualifier. Hopefully you've disqualified them early on, but if you get down to the point, you made the action plan, it's time to commit, they're not willing to, that means they're not committed, they're just interested in their goals and dreams and financial future. You get what you negotiate. This is one of the best skill sets that you can develop and continue to work on and master, because everything in life is a negotiation. Everybody's kind of selling something, so to speak. So the better you get out at negotiating and helping people understand how you can help them get to where they want to go, or how you can help them avoid getting to where they don't want to go, easier it's going to be for you to fill up that calendar with different people in different cycles of communication, which is creating outcomes. As an agent, as a manager, one of the things that you want to learn is the art of communication. We've talked about this before. It's just about having lots of communication, which that's key, but having lots of the right type of communication. And it's important in what you say, what you don't say, and the words that you use versus the words that you don't use. So not all of this is going to be mastered overnight. You need to take different stages of your business, understand what you can concentrate on, control right now. And then as those things are overcome, you can move into some of this other stuff that will, like I said, just help you on the conversion factors. All you're doing, if you really want to map out a business plan, is you're helping yourself, your clients, and your partners take this, mess that they have, which is trying to figure out how do they come on top, how do they build a business, how do they get to their financial goals, how do they retire, whatever it is. And you're taking that mess and you're unwinding that to give them a clear path, a legitimate path to actually get there, helping them understand, what's going to be required of them, how you fit into the picture, how we're going to do it as a team. And then from that point, you're just creating high performance sales teams to take what you've learned on an individual basis and then teach your partners. And once you do that, distribution kicks in, and distribution is where fortunes are made. If you have a good product or service that's solving problems, you create distribution of that, you're going to become very wealthy. The disruption pattern of what you're doing is different for everybody. So understand that if you're just trying to be that chameleon, having a bunch of random conversations with random people, it's going to create random outcomes. If you're having the same types of conversations with the same types of people, you can understand that disruption, the value that you're creating with your business, with your model, and you can talk specifically about how that disruption creates the type of value that they're interested in. Think outside the box. When you're looking at your business, look at what other marketers are doing. Look at what other financial agents are doing. What's working, what's not working. Understand what's not working. Stay away from it. Understand what's working. Mimic it. Use it to your advantage. Stop waiting. We don't want to go through another year where we are reactive, which means whatever happens from the outside world, we're just going to sit back and we're going to react to that. We want to be proactive. We want to go out there and start conversations. We want to go out there and make things happen, because when you make things happen, it creates momentum. Momentum carries over. It springboards on the other side. Like I said, if we're just reactive, it's going to feel like the walls are closing in. White space goes on our calendar. Hey, this is not the business for me. I can't do this. Whatever it might be, that ultimately leads to quitting. Quitting is a habit. It becomes very easy. Next thing you know, you've quit a bunch of stuff. Your brain loves to quit. Your brain will love to continue to do whatever it's doing. So put it on the right path and watch what happens. And then ultimately, guys, the Q1 power play that sets up the year's success is ultimately going to create a framework for what you're trying to accomplish as far as the vision for the remainder of this decade. I mean, if you look at through 2030, what's happening on a macroeconomic level, what's happening, in a bunch of different segments of the financial industry, what's happening with Americans as a whole and their finances. What we do is needed, it's timely, it's valuable. Set yourself up for the near term. Understand this is building blocks for a successful quarter, year, and multiple years. There's going to be roadblocks. You anticipate roadblocks, you welcome roadblocks, because understanding that as you overcome these roadblocks, that's getting you closer and closer to the success that you're looking for. Finally, guys, I'll leave you with this today. It's up to you. No one's standing over you. You're not a W-2 employee. You don't have to report to anybody. So it's up to you. So you have to understand and keep asking yourself, hey, what's more important? Are your dreams more important than your excuses? If they are, continue to feed that to yourself every day. If you find your excuses overcoming or superseding your dreams, you need to go back to the vision board and find something that's going to propel you. Don't let your fear of what could happen make nothing happen at all. Agency in motion, building, operating, and managing agencies in the digital environment.